The morning sun broke over the mountains of horizon, casting long shadows across Ta's small outpost. The retired soldier stepped onto his porch, a steaming cup in his hand. His eyes scanned the valley below. This remote colony planet was perfect for a man who wanted to be left alone. "Saber, breakfast," Ta called out. A low hiss came from behind the house. Moments later, a massive shape moved into view. Saber stood 7 feet tall, his scaled skin catching the sunlight. The raptor's intelligent eyes fixed on Ta as he approached. Muscles rippled beneath armor like plates along his back. Sharp claws clicked against the wooden porch. Ta smiled and tossed a large piece of meat to his companion. Saber caught it midair, teeth flashing. "Good boy," Ta said, running a hand along the raptor's neck. "Ready for patrol." Saber's only answer was a soft chirp. The bond between them ran deeper than words. 5 years ago, when the military ordered all battle raptors destroyed, Ta couldn't let that happen to Saber. They had fought together, survived together. So they ran, finding this quiet spot on a distant world. Ta grabbed his rifle and pack. "Let's go." Man and raptor moved through the forest with practiced ease. Todd watched Saber dart ahead, then circle back. The raptor's enhanced intelligence made him a perfect hunting partner. The scientists who created these creatures had wanted living weapons. They got something more. Animals with near-human understanding but unwavering loyalty. Dark clouds gathered as they finished their patrol. The weather on horizon could turn dangerous quickly. "Time to head back," Ta said, looking at the sky. "Storm's coming." The wind picked up as they approached home. That's when they heard it, a high-pitched scream cutting through the air. Ta knew that sound. A ship in trouble. "Come on," he shouted to Saber. They raced to a clearing just in time to see a sleek silver craft slam into the ground. The ship skidded across dirt and rock before coming to rest against a cliff wall. Smoke poured from its engines. "Someone might be alive," Ta said, approaching carefully. Saber moved ahead, his predator senses alert for danger. The raptor stopped near what appeared to be the main door, now twisted and half open. Tay reached the damaged craft just as rain began to fall. He peered inside, rifle ready. The ship's design was unlike anything he'd seen before, definitely not human. A sound from within. Movement. "Hello," Ta called. "I'm here to help." Something blue shifted in the shadows. Then a figure stumbled toward the opening. Tay's breath caught in his throat. She was clearly female, but not human. Her skin was pale blue with delicate patterns that seemed to glow faintly. Long silver hair framed a face with large almond-shaped eyes. Her clothes were made of a material that shimmered even in the dim light. The alien woman saw Ta and gasped. She spoke words he couldn't understand, her voice musical but frightened. She was trying to back away when she collapsed, clutching her side. Ta moved forward. "You're hurt. Let me help." The woman's eyes widened as Saber appeared beside Ta. She screamed, pressing herself against the wall. "It's okay," Ta said, motioning for Saber to stay back. "He won't hurt you." The storm grew stronger. Thunder cracked overhead. "We need to get you somewhere safe," Ta said slowly, hoping she understood his meaning if not his words. He reached out a hand. The alien woman looked at it, then at his face. Slowly, hesitantly, she took it. As Ta helped her from the ship, she stumbled. He caught her easily, feeling how light she was in his arms. Her skin was cool to the touch. She said something, her tone questioning. Her glowing markings pulsed brighter. "I'm Ta," he said, pointing to himself. "And that's Saber." The woman looked from Ta to the raptor. Fear still showed on her face, but curiosity too. "Gia," she finally said, touching her chest. Lightning flashed, illuminating the 3 figures, a human, an alien, and a battle raptor, standing together as the storm raged around them. None of them knew it yet, but the universe had just changed forever. Tay's cabin seemed smaller with Gia inside. The blue-skinned alien sat stiffly at his table, watching his every move. Outside, rain pounded on the roof. "Drink," Ta said, placing a cup of hot tea before her. "It will help." Gia sniffed the liquid, then pushed it away. Her glowing marks flashed brighter. She pointed to Saber, who lay in the corner watching her, and said something sharp. Ta sighed. "He stays. This is his home too." The storm had forced them together. Ta had carried Gia through the rain after bandaging her injured side. Now they were stuck with each other until help came or her ship could be fixed. Gia tried her small talking device again. It made sounds that didn't translate. She put it down with clear frustration. "Your ship," Ta said slowly, making flying motions with his hand. "I can look at it tomorrow." Gia nodded, seeming to understand. Then she touched the fancy clothes she wore and the jewels in her hair. She straightened her back and looked down her nose at him. "Princess," she said carefully. "Gia." "Princess." Tai raised his eyebrows. "A princess. Great." That explained her attitude. Gia walked around the cabin, examining everything. She wrinkled her nose at his simple furniture and tools. When she saw his military photos, she stopped. One showed Tai in uniform with Saber and other soldiers with Raptors. "You're not impressed with my home," Ta said, watching her. "Sorry, it's not a palace." Gia turned to him. Though they couldn't share words, her face showed clear disgust at his way of life. She pointed to a dirty plate, then to his worn clothes, then made a sound like "ugh." Ta laughed. "Not all humans live like this, princess. I choose to." Evening came. Ta gave Gia his bed and made a spot for himself by the fire. Saber curled nearby, always alert. Sleep didn't come easily. Ta thought about the alien princess under his roof. The Karai, that's what she called her people, had been known to humans for only a few years. They kept their distance, seeing humans as dangerous newcomers to space. Now one of their royals was here, in his home. It would mean trouble. A crash woke Tai hours later. He jumped up to see Gia backing away from Saber. She had gotten up in the night, and the Raptor had moved to block her path. "It's okay," Ta said, moving between them. "Saber, stand down." The Raptor stepped back, but kept watching. Gia pointed outside, her face urgent. Tai understood. "Bathroom. Out back. I'll show you." He grabbed a light and led her to the small building behind the cabin. Rain had stopped, but the night was dark. Ta waited outside, giving her privacy. A scream cut through the night. Ta burst through the door. Gia was pressed against the wall. A six-legged crawler, one of the planet's dangerous bugs, was on the floor, moving toward her. Before Tai could react, Saber pushed past him. The Raptor crushed the crawler with one quick strike of his clawed foot. "You're safe," Ta said, reaching for Gia's hand. She was shaking, but her eyes moved between Tai and Saber with new interest. For the first time, she didn't pull away from Ta's touch. Back in the cabin, Gia tried to say something. She pointed to Saber, then made a guard motion. "Yes," Ta nodded. "He protects. That's what we do." Gia sat on the edge of the bed. She watched as Ta praised Saber, rubbing the Raptor's scaled head. Something changed in her eyes. Less fear, more curiosity. She spoke a word in her language, then touched her chest where her heart would be. "Thank you," she said in careful human words. It was a small start. Ta smiled as he returned to his spot by the fire. The princess might be stuck with him, but maybe they could learn to understand each other. Outside, something moved in the darkness. Something much more dangerous than a crawler. Something that had followed the princess's ship to this quiet world. 3 days passed. The rain stopped, and sunlight returned to horizon. Tai worked on Jia's ship each day, but the damage was worse than he first thought. "No good," he told Gia as they walked back to the cabin. "The main engine is broken. I don't have the parts to fix it." Gia nodded slowly. Her device now translated some basic words, though not perfectly. During their time together, she had started to learn simple human speech. "How long?" "Stay here," she asked. Ta shrugged. Until your people find you, or we fix your communicator. They reached the cabin to find Saber waiting. The raptor had grown used to Ja, though he still watched her closely. To Ta's surprise, Ja walked up to Saber and held out a piece of dried meat she had saved from breakfast. "For helping me," she said. Saber took the meat gently from her hand. Ta smiled, seeing the small step of trust. Later, as the sun set, they sat on the porch. Ja pointed to a picture of Ta in his uniform. "You, fighter?" she asked. Ta nodded. "Yes. I was a soldier, special forces with the Raptor unit." Ja's translator beeped as it worked. "Why you leave?" Tai was quiet for a long time. He didn't talk about this with anyone, but something about Jia made him want to share. "They wanted to kill Saber and all the other Raptors," he finally said. "The war ended. The politicians said the Raptors were too dangerous, too expensive to keep." He looked at Saber, who rested nearby. "We trained together, fought together. He saved my life many times. I couldn't let them put him down." Jill's glowing marks pulsed softly. "So you ran away." "Deserted," Ta corrected. "I broke the law to save him. We can't go back to Earth now." Jia seemed to understand loyalty. She nodded and looked at the stars appearing above. "My turn," Ta said. "Why were you flying alone? Princesses usually have guards, don't they?" Jia's face grew serious. "Secret mission. Important for my people." She touched her translator, adjusting it to explain better. "Kirai Empire faces danger. Vorn Collective attacks our worlds. They are cruel. Take planets, resources, people. And you were looking for help." Ta guessed. Jia nodded. "Looking for allies. My father, the Emperor, does not want this. He thinks Kirai should fight alone. I disagree." Tai understood now. "So you left in secret to find help?" "Yes, humans are new in space. Kirai leaders think you are primitive, dangerous." She looked at Ta. "They fear your kind." Ta laughed. "They're not completely wrong about the dangerous part." Jia's face became thoughtful. "Maybe that is what we need." They sat in silence for a while. Then Ta got up to check the communication device he had been repairing. "Let's try again," he said, turning it on. The machine hummed to life. A map appeared showing their location and a signal from orbit. "It works," Jia said, excited. But then her face fell as she studied the screen. "No, this is wrong." Ta looked where she pointed. A ship was in orbit around Horizon, but it wasn't Kirai. "Vorn ship," Jia whispered, fear in her voice. "They found me." Ta shut the device off quickly. "Is it possible they detected our signal?" Jia nodded, her blue skin paling. "They hunt me. Now they know I'm here." Saber sensed the tension and moved closer, making a low warning sound. "We need to leave," Ta said, already thinking like a soldier again. "They'll send hunters down to find you." "Where can we go?" Jia asked, looking around at the dark forest. Ta's eyes hardened as he reached for his rifle. "I know these woods better than anyone, and they don't know about Saber." For the first time, Jia looked at the raptor with hope instead of fear. "Pack only what you need," Ta told her. "We leave at dawn." Morning came too soon. Ta woke Jia before sunrise. She had slept little, worry keeping her awake. "Time to go," Ta said, handing her a small pack. Food, water, and a blanket. Nothing more. Jia took it without complaint. She had changed her fancy clothes for some of Ta's old things. They were too big but better for moving in the woods. Ta checked his rifle and packed extra ammo. He strapped a long knife to his belt and filled his own pack with supplies. Saber seemed to know something was wrong. The raptor moved restlessly by the door. "How far will we go?" Jia asked. "There's an old military bunker about 20 miles north," Ta said. "We can hide there for a while." They left as the first light touched the sky. Ta didn't look back at his cabin. He knew he might never see it again. Saber led the way, his senses sharper than any tracking device. Ta followed, with Jia close behind. They moved quietly through the trees. By mid-morning, they heard the first sounds of ships. Down. Ta pulled Jia under a thick bush as a small craft flew overhead. It was black and sharp-looking, unlike the smooth silver of Jia's ship. "Vorn Scout," she whispered. "They're searching for me." They stayed hidden until the ship passed. Then they moved on, now keeping to the densest parts of the forest. "They'll find your cabin," Jia said as they walked. Ta nodded. "I know, but they won't find us." Around noon, they reached a wide river. The water ran fast over rocks. "We need to cross," Ta said. "It will hide our scent and tracks." Jia looked at the rushing water with fear. I cannot swim well." Ta thought for a moment. "Saber will help you." He spoke to the Raptor, who seemed to understand. Saber moved to Jia's side and lowered himself. "Hold onto his back plates," Ta said. "He's strong. He won't let you fall." Jia hesitated, then placed her hands on Saber's scale back. The Raptor stood slowly, letting her find her balance. Ta went first, testing the depth. The water came to his chest at the deepest part. Saber followed with Jia holding tightly to him. The princess's face showed both fear and wonder at trusting the creature she had once thought a monster. They made it across safely and continued north. As they walked, Tai taught Jia how to move quietly, how to hide her tracks, how to spot edible plants. "Your people," Ta said as they rested briefly. "They'd really think humans are primitive." Jia nodded. "Karai have had space travel for 1,000 years. Humans are new, only 50 years. And," she paused, "humans fight many wars. Karai fear this." Ta laughed softly. "Yet your people are at war now." "Yes," Jia admitted. "That is why I wanted human allies. You adapt. You survive." They moved on as the day grew warmer. Twice more they hid from passing ships. Each time, the searches seemed closer. By late afternoon, Jia was struggling. Though she tried to hide it, she wasn't used to such hard travel. Her side, where she had been injured in the crash, pained her. "We'll rest soon," Ta promised. Suddenly Saber froze, his head turning sharply. A low hiss escaped him. Ta signaled for silence. He listened and heard what Saber had. Voices. Not human. The words were harsh and clicking. "Vorn hunters," Jia whispered, her blue skin paling. They were close, too close to run without being heard. Ta pointed to a fallen tree with a hollow space beneath. "Hide there," he told Jia. "Don't move until I come back." "Where are you going?" Fear filled her large eyes. "To lead them away," Ta said, checking his rifle. "No," Jia grabbed his arm. "They will kill you." Ta smiled grimly. "They'll try." "Saber, stay with her." The Raptor growled softly, but moved to Jia's side. "I was in the war for 10 years, Ta said quietly. "These hunters don't know what they're facing." Before Jia could argue more, he slipped away into the trees. The hunter was about to become the hunted. Jia huddled beneath the fallen tree, listening to the sounds of the forest. Saber stood guard, his head turning at every noise. An hour passed, then another. "He should be back," she whispered to the Raptor. "Something is wrong." Saber made a soft sound, as if he understood her worry. The sky grew darker. Night was coming. A rustle in the bushes made Jia freeze. Saber crouched, ready to attack. Then a whistle, the signal Tai had taught them. Tai appeared, moving like a shadow. His face was streaked with dirt and something dark that looked like blood. "Are you hurt?" Jia reached for him. "Not mine," Ta said quietly. "The Vorn won't follow us anymore." Jia didn't ask what had happened. The look in Ta's eyes told her enough. He had done what was needed to protect them. "We need to keep moving," he said. "There will be more." They walked until full darkness made it too dangerous. Ta found a small cave hidden behind thick bushes. Inside, they ate cold rations. No fire was safe. How much farther to the bunker? Jia asked. We can reach it tomorrow, Ta said, if we're lucky. In the dim light, Jia studied Ta's face. This human who had risked his life for her. An alien princess he barely knew. Why help me? She finally asked. The Vorn are not your enemy. Tai was quiet for a moment. Anyone who hunts innocent people is my enemy. Saber moved closer to Jia, surprising her by resting his head near her feet. She carefully touched his scaled head. Tell me about the Karai, Ta said, and why the Vorn want you. Jia's glowing marks pulsed gently as she spoke. The Karai Empire has ruled many stars for 1,000 years. We brought peace, art, learning. Then the Vorn came from the far stars. They take what they want, destroy what they don't. She looked down at her hands. My father, Emperor Hun, tried to make peace. The Vorn agreed to talk, but it was a trap. They attacked our home world. And you? Tai asked. I saw that we needed help. Humans are new in space, but you fight well. My father refused to ask for help. He is proud, so I left in secret to find human allies, Tai finished. Jia nodded. If the Vorn capture me, they will use me against my father. Make him surrender. Tai understood now why she was so important, why the Vorn hunted her so hard. What do the Karai think of humans? Tai asked. Really? Jia hesitated, then spoke honestly. We found Earth 30 years ago. We watched, saw your wars, your weapons. The Karai Council decided humans were too dangerous to contact. But you came anyway. Yes, what the Council fears about humans, your fighting spirit, is what we need now. They sat in silence for a while. Saber had fallen asleep, still close to Jia. I never thought I would trust a... Jia stopped, looking for the right word. Monster. Tai offered with a small smile. No, not a monster. A battle friend, she said, touching Saber gently. Something changed in that moment. Ta saw Jia differently, not just as a royal alien who needed help, but as someone who could learn, who could change her mind. You should sleep, Ta said. I'll take first watch. Jia nodded and wrapped herself in the blanket. As she drifted off, she felt safer than she had since her ship crashed. Outside the cave, far above the trees, more Vorn ships entered the planet's atmosphere. The hunt was growing larger, and somewhere in orbit, a signal had been received by a passing Karai scout. The princess's people were coming too. Tai didn't know it yet, but his quiet life on Horizon was over forever. War was coming to his peaceful planet, and he, a human soldier with a battle raptor, would soon stand between two alien powers. They reached the military bunker by midday. It sat half-buried in a hillside, hidden by years of growing vines and bushes. No one has been here for a long time, Ta said as he cleared the heavy metal door. It opened with a loud creak. Inside, the air was stale but cool. Dim emergency lights still worked, casting everything in a soft blue glow. Jia's skin seemed to shine in the light, her markings glowing in response. What is this place? She asked, looking at the dusty control panels and empty weapon racks. An outpost from the early colony days, Tai explained. They built these for protection, then abandoned them when the planet was secured. Saber moved through the rooms, checking each corner. The Raptor seemed to remember places like this from his training days. Todd found the main control room and turned on the power systems. Screens flickered to life, some still working after years of disuse. Can we call for help? Jia asked hopefully. Ta shook his head. The communication system is dead, but we can use the sensors to see what's happening outside. He worked on the old equipment while Jia explored the bunker. She found food supplies, still good in their sealed containers, and a medical kit. Her side had begun to hurt again after their long journey. When she returned to Tai, his face was grim. Bad news, he said. pointing to a screen. The Vorn aren't just sending hunters. They're building a base about 10 miles from here. The screen showed a clearing where Vorn ships had landed. Alien figures moved around, setting up structures and equipment. Why build a base? Ja asked, confused. Just to find me. No, Ta said. I think they were already planning something on Horizon. Your crash just gave them a reason to move faster. He pointed to another screen showing more ships arriving. This isn't just about you anymore. They're preparing for a larger operation. Jiz's face paled. An invasion. Ta nodded. Horizon is a small colony, not well protected. Perfect for them to establish a foothold in this sector. We need to warn your people, Jaya said. And yours, Tai added. But how? They sat in silence, thinking. Then Saber made a noise, drawing their attention to a screen showing the Vorn base again. Wait, Ta said, leaning closer. Look at that structure. It's a communication tower. Can we use it to send a message? Ja asked. Ta smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. It was the look of a soldier planning an attack. Yes, but we'd need to get inside their base. That's impossible, Jaya said. There are too many of them. Not impossible, Ta corrected. Just difficult. He moved to a storage room and began pulling out old equipment. Dusty boxes held weapons, tools, and tactical gear, leftovers from the colonial forces. When I was in Special Forces, we specialized in impossible missions. Tai explained as he sorted through the items. Small team, hit hard, get out fast. Jia watched as he checked an old rifle, then set it aside for a smaller weapon that still worked. You want to attack their base, just the three of us. They won't expect it, Ta said, and they don't know about Saber. He knelt beside the Raptor and looked him in the eyes. Ready to hunt again, old friend. Saber made a sound deep in his throat. His claws flexed against the floor. What can I do? Ja asked, surprising Ta. He had expected her to argue, to say it was too dangerous. Instead, she stood straighter, looking every bit the princess and warrior. You know their technology, Ta said. Can you operate their communication systems? Jia nodded. Karai and Vorn systems are similar. I can send a message. Then we have a plan, Ta said. We go in at night. Saber and I create a distraction. You send the message. He spread out a map of the area and began marking positions. For the first time since her crash, Jia felt hope. My father will send ships when he knows I'm alive, she said. And the Earth Defense Force will respond to a Vorn invasion, Tai added. They worked through the details as darkness fell. Tomorrow, they would rest. The next night, they would bring the fight to the Vorn. Outside, unknown to them, a single Karai scout ship had already entered orbit, searching for signs of the missing princess. Night covered the forest like a black blanket. No moon shone through the clouds. It was perfect for their mission. Ta moved silently toward the Vorn base, staying low in the shadows. Jia followed close behind, trying to match his quiet steps. Saber had gone ahead, using his natural hunting skills to scout the path. They stopped at the edge of the trees. The Vorn base glowed with harsh lights. Armed guards patrolled the fence line. Tall towers rose in the center, with the communication array at the highest point. Remember the plan, Ta whispered. When the explosion happens, count to 30, then make your move. Jia nodded. She wore dark clothes and carried a small pack with tools she might need. Her blue skin was covered with mud to hide her glow. Be careful, she said, touching Ta's arm. Something passed between them in that moment, more than just concern for a friend. Ta nodded once, then melted into the darkness. Saber returned, moving like a ghost through the trees. The Raptor would stay with Jia until Ta's signal, then create chaos on the far side of the base. Jia checked her translator device. She had programmed it with a short message in both Karai and human languages, ready to send when she reached the communication array. Minutes passed slowly. Then a flash lit up the night, followed by a boom that shook the ground. Ta had blown up the Vorn fuel depot. Alarms screamed across the base. Guards ran toward the fire. Jia counted to 30, then moved. She and Saber raced across the open ground, reaching the fence. Using tools from her pack, Jia cut through the metal links. They slipped inside. The base was in chaos. No one noticed a small figure and a shadow moving between buildings. They reached the main tower just as Ta's second explosion rocked the night. "Go," Jia whispered to Saber. The Raptor hesitated, then ran toward the far side of the base, where he would cause his own kind of trouble. Jia entered the tower and climbed the stairs. The communication room was on the top floor. She hoped it would be empty, with everyone responding to the attacks. It wasn't. A tall Vorn officer stood at the controls. His scaled skin was dark green, his eyes yellow and cold. He turned as Jia entered. "Princess Jia," he said in a clicking voice. "We've been looking for you." Before she could run, 2 guards grabbed her arms. The officer spoke into a device on his wrist. "Commander, we have the princess." The human's attack was a distraction. Jia struggled, but couldn't break free. The Vorn officer laughed, a harsh sound like stones grinding together. "Your human pet will die for his efforts," he said. "Perhaps we'll let you watch." Outside, more explosions lit up the night. Tai was still fighting, drawing attention away from the tower. But he didn't know Jia had been caught. The commander of the Vorn base entered the room. Taller than the others, with battle scars across his face, he looked at Jia with cruel satisfaction. "Your father will surrender his entire fleet for your safe return," he said. "The Karai Empire will finally fall." Suddenly, alarms blared from a different part of the base. Screams echoed through the night, not of fear, but of pain. "What now?" the commander demanded. A guard rushed in, his face pale with fear. "Sir, some kind of monster is attacking the east sector. It's killing everyone." Saber had begun his hunt. The commander growled orders, sending more guards to deal with the new threat. Only the commander, the officer, and 1 guard remained with Jia. "Your tricks won't save you," the commander told her. Then the lights went out. In the sudden darkness, something crashed through the window. Glass shattered across the room. A guard screamed, then fell silent. When emergency lights flickered on, Ta stood in the center of the room. Blood dripped from the knife in his hand. The guard lay dead at his feet. The Vorn commander pulled out a weapon, but Ta moved faster than Jia had ever seen a human move. His knife found its mark in the commander's throat. The officer holding Jia tried to use her as a shield, but the princess wasn't helpless. She slammed her head back into his face, breaking his grip. Ta's second knife flew across the room, hitting the officer in the eye. He fell without a sound. "Send the message," Ta said, breathing hard. Quickly. Jia ran to the controls and plugged in her device. The message began to transmit, to both her people and his. Ta looked out the broken window. Fires burned across the base. In the distance, Saber's hunting cries mixed with the screams of Vorn soldiers. "Now they know," he said quietly, "why humans are feared." Dawn broke over the smoking ruins of the Vorn base. Ta, Jia, and Saber watched from the safety of the forest. They had escaped in the chaos, leaving destruction behind them. "Do you think our message reached anyone?" Jia asked. Her clothes were torn, and dried blood, both hers and Vorn, stained her hands. "We'll know soon," Ta said. He cleaned a cut on Saber's leg. The Raptor had fought hard, taking down many Vorn soldiers. They rested through the morning, taking turns to watch for danger. Ta knew the surviving Vorn would hunt them with even more fury now. But they had done what they came to do. Now they could only wait. As the sun reached its highest point, Jia touched Ta's shoulder. "Look," she whispered, pointing up. Silver ships filled the sky, not the black, sharp-edged ships of the Vorn, but smooth, elegant vessels that seemed to flow through the air. "Karai ships," Jia said, her voice breaking with emotion. My people came. Tai watched as the ships landed in the clearing near them. Doors opened, and armed figures in gleaming armor stepped out. Jia stood, no longer hiding. Princess, one of the Kurai soldiers called out, spotting her. Jia ran forward. The soldiers surrounded her protectively. Ta stayed back, saber at his side. This was her moment, her reunion. Then a larger ship descended. Its design was more elaborate, with gold patterns across its silver hull. Royal guards in special armor formed a line as the main door opened. A tall Kurai male stepped out. His blue skin was darker than Jia's, with more complex patterns of light. He wore a crown-like headpiece that glowed with power. Father. Jia broke from the soldiers and ran to him. Emperor Hun embraced his daughter briefly, then held her at arm's length, examining her for injuries. You worried me, daughter, he said in a voice that carried authority even through the translator. Your mission was foolish, but necessary, Jia argued. The Vorn are planning a full invasion of this sector. The Emperor looked past her, his eyes finding Ta and Saber at the edge of the trees. And this is the human who helped you. His tone made it clear what he thought of humans. Jia turned and motioned for Tai to approach. He did so slowly, Saber following like a shadow. Father, this is Tai, she said proudly. He saved my life many times. And this is Saber, his battle raptor. The Emperor's eyes widened slightly at the sight of Saber. The royal guards tensed, hands moving to their weapons. A beast, the Emperor said. You keep a predator as a pet. Typical human barbarism. Ta stood straight, meeting the Emperor's gaze without fear. Saber is not a pet. He's my partner, my friend. The Emperor looked unimpressed. He turned to his guards. Secure the area. Hunt down any remaining Vorn. Prepare the fleet for departure. Father, Jia said, stepping between them. Ta deserves our thanks. Without him, I would be dead or captured. Yes, yes, we will reward him, the Emperor said dismissively. Now come, you must be treated by our doctors. As guards led Jia toward the royal ship, she looked back at Ta. Something passed between them. Something the Emperor noticed. You care for this human? He asked his daughter, his voice cold. Jia stood tall. I do, father. He is brave and kind. An alarm cut through the air. A Kurai officer ran to the Emperor. Your Majesty, Vorn warships entering the system, many of them. The Emperor's face hardened. So, they were planning an invasion. Prepare for battle. He looked at Ta with new interest. Perhaps you might be useful after all, human. My daughter says you know how to fight. Before Tai could answer, the ground shook as the first Vorn bombs fell from orbit. The battle for Horizon had begun. Jia broke away from her guards and ran back to Ta. Stay with me, she said, taking his hand. Ta looked into her alien eyes and knew he would never leave her side. Always, he promised. Saber pressed against them, both as the sky filled with fire and the sound of ships in battle. The sky above Horizon blazed with the light of battle. Kurai ships, beautiful but built for speed rather than war, struggled against the larger Vorn vessels. Emperor Hun watched from his command center, his face grim. Their weapons are stronger than we expected, he said to his officers. We need time for our main fleet to arrive. Jia stood beside her father, watching the battle displays. Ta studied them too, seeing patterns in the Vorn attacks. Your ships are faster, he said, but you're fighting them head-on. That's their strength. The Emperor glared at him. What would a human know of space battles? Father, Jia said firmly. Listen to him. Ta pointed to the display. The Vorn expect you to fight with honor, in direct combat. Don't. Use your speed. Hit them, then run. Make them chase you. Wear them down. The Emperor hesitated, then nodded to his commander. Try it. The Kurai ships changed their approach, using quick strikes instead of holding position. Slowly, the tide of battle shifted. It's working, Jia said, but not fast enough. More Vorn ships are coming. Tai studied the largest Vorn ship. Their commander is on that vessel. If it falls, the others might retreat. Impossible to reach, the Emperor said. Its shields are too strong. Not from the outside, Ta said. An idea formed in his mind. A dangerous one. I can get aboard that ship, he told them. Saber and I can disable its shields from within. The Emperor laughed. One human and a beast against an entire Vorn command ship. Impossible. Father, Jia said, you don't understand what humans can do. What Ta can do. She turned to Ta. But it's too dangerous. I won't let you sacrifice yourself. Tai took her hand. Trust me. This is what I was trained for. In the end, they agreed. A small team would join Ta. 3 Karai soldiers who believed in the plan. They would use a tiny scout ship to approach the Vorn vessel during a larger attack. Before Tai left, Jia pulled him aside. Return to me, she said, her blue skin glowing with emotion. Promise me. Tai touched her face gently. I promise. The mission began. The scout ship slipped through the battle, using the chaos as cover. They reached the Vorn command ship and attached to its hull. Cutting through, they entered the massive vessel. The Karai soldiers were brave but unused to close combat. Tai and Saber led the way, moving through the ship like the special forces team they once were. The Vorn never expected enemies inside their strongest ship. They fought their way to the shield control room. Ta's plan was working, until a squad of Vorn elite guards found them. In the fierce battle that followed, the Karai soldiers fell. Tad was wounded, blood soaking his side. The Vorn commander himself appeared, larger and stronger than the others. He knocked Ta down and prepared to kill him. Your princess will be next, the commander hissed. But he had forgotten Saber. The Raptor launched himself at the Vorn, claws and teeth tearing into scaled flesh. Man and beast fought together one last time. When it was over, Ta dragged himself to the controls. With his remaining strength, he disabled the shields. The Karai ships immediately focused their attack on the now vulnerable command vessel. Explosions rocked the ship as Tai slumped against a wall, his vision darkening. Saber pressed against him, trying to keep him awake. Good boy, Ta whispered. Time to go home. On the Karai royal ship, Jia watched the Vorn command vessel break apart. The remaining enemy ships began to retreat. They had won. But her heart felt cold. Any word from Ta? She asked the communications officer. No, princess. No signals. Just then, an alert sounded. A small escape pod had launched from the Vorn ship moments before it exploded. Hours later, Jia stood in the medical bay of her father's ship. Ta lay on a bed, his wounds treated but still serious. Saber refused to leave his side, growling at anyone who came too close. The Emperor entered, looking at the human with new respect. He saved us all, Jia said. Yes, her father admitted. Perhaps there is more to humans than I thought. Ta's eyes opened slowly. He saw Jia and smiled. Told you I'd come back. The Emperor cleared his throat. When you recover, human, we have much to discuss. The Karai Empire could use someone with your unique abilities. He looked at his daughter's face and sighed. And perhaps it is time for new alliances, even unexpected ones. As the Emperor left, Jia took Ta's hand. Saber made a soft sound of contentment. Beauty, beast, and warrior. Together, they had changed the stars forever.